My sister convinced me to dump my boyfriend for someone richer. Now she's furious after he became a CEO and won't date her. My older sister Vanessa always acted like my life coach, especially about dating. When I started dating Jake in college, she immediately disapproved. Jake was studying computer engineering while working at a grocery store to pay tuition. He drove a 15-year-old Toyota, and our dates were usually picnics or studying together. Vanessa called him a dead-end loser, and constantly said I was wasting my pretty years on someone going nowhere. She'd literally show me Instagram profiles of guys with boats and BMWs saying, "This is what you should have." For months, she worked on breaking us down. She'd accidentally mentioned his grocery store job in front of people, calling him bag boy at family dinners. When Jake got me a handmade photo album for my birthday because he couldn't afford expensive gifts, she laughed and said, "How romantic, arts and crafts." The worst part? She was relentless. Daily texts about how I deserved better, how he'd never afford a nice house, how our kids would grow up poor. She even made a spreadsheet comparing Jake's income to other guys she knew. Yes, a spreadsheet. Finally, after a year of this, I cracked. Vanessa had introduced me to Blake, a guy from her firm who had a trust fund and Porsche. She convinced me Jake would hold me back, and I'd regret not exploring options while young. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I broke up with Jake. Told him I needed someone more established. The look on his face still haunts me. He just said, "I understand," and left. Vanessa threw a literal celebration dinner. Blake turned out to be exactly what you'd expect. Narcissistic, controlling, and treated me like an accessory. Within 3 months, I realized I'd made the biggest mistake of my life. I tried reaching out to Jake, but he blocked me everywhere. Mutual friends said he'd thrown himself into work and internships. I deserved the silence. I ended things with Blake, which made Vanessa furious because she'd been bragging about landing me a quality man. Fast forward 4 years. I'm single, working in marketing, living with the regret of losing someone who genuinely loved me. Then I see it on LinkedIn. Jake just became the youngest CEO of a major tech startup at 26. His company developed some AI software that got bought out, and they kept him on to run it. His headshot showed the same sweet smile, but in a $3,000 suit. My heart dropped. But I was genuinely happy for him. He deserved every bit of success. Here's where it gets insane. Vanessa saw the news too. Suddenly she's asking about Jake constantly. "Do you still have his number? Could you introduce us at alumni events? He probably remembers me fondly, right?" I reminded her she called him bag boy for 2 years. She said that was just jokes, and she always saw his potential. The delusion was real. She started following him on everything, liking old photos, commenting on his posts with things like, "So proud of how far you've come." Then she did the unthinkable. She messaged him saying she was sorry for any past misunderstandings and would love to catch up over drinks. Jake responded publicly, "I don't associate with people who lack character. My girlfriend and I are very happy." Girlfriend. The comments went wild. People who knew the history started spilling tea. Someone even commented, "Isn't this the woman who called you grocery boy?" But Vanessa didn't stop. She convinced our dad to invite Jake to his 60th birthday, saying it would mend family bonds. Jake actually came, with his girlfriend, a brilliant doctor who was also stunning. Vanessa spent the entire night trying to get his attention, touching his arm, laughing too loud at his jokes. His girlfriend noticed and asked, "Is that the sister who bullied you?" in front of everyone. Jake simply said, "Yes, but we don't need to discuss unpleasant history." The real kicker? Jake pulled me aside privately and said, "I hope you're doing well. We were young and I don't hold grudges. But your sister, she showed me screenshots back then of your texts discussing dumping me. She was proud of saving you from me." My blood went cold. Vanessa had been screenshotting our private conversations and sending them to Jake while we were still together to prove I was too good for him. When I confronted Vanessa, she tried gaslighting me, saying she did it for my own good, and now I should be grateful because it motivated Jake to become successful. I told her she was delusional and blocked her on everything. She called our parents crying about how I'm jealous that Jake might want her. Our mom, who now knows the whole story, told her to seek therapy and leave that poor man alone. Last I heard, Vanessa made a scene at a tech conference trying to network with Jake. Security had to escort her out when she wouldn't leave him alone. Jake's company is now worth over $100 million. Vanessa, still single, still delusional, now known in our city's tech circle as the crazy stalker sister. She texts me from new numbers saying it's my fault for not properly introducing them. I just laugh and block. Sometimes you don't know what you have until your toxic sister convinces you to throw it away. Jake's living his best life, and Vanessa's living with the knowledge that she pushed away the very person she now desperately wants. Karma really said, "Let me handle this one personally."